Okay. Hey, what's up, guys? So, I'm going to be playing, Space Haven right now, and I'm gonna finish reading all the, data logs that I haven't read. I'm gonna read the hypersleep chambers, data logs, left by some dead people. Let's see, call me crazy. Sure thing, buddy. Call me crazy, entry 1. Log 1, second star to the right. So, this is HSS Call Me Crazy, ship's log, first entry, Captain Floyd Pierce. I thought I should probably start keeping one now that we've got an actual ship that can fly. We got the hyperdrive installed today, which means we're all set to leave. Eden, here we come. Brown thinks I'm too optimistic. I just like to think, you know. Things are so dark right now, us little lights have to shine that much brighter. Yeah, you too, mate. Laughs. He just gave me the finger. Anyway, it was bad down there. Really bloody bad. London's basically underwater nowadays. And the week before we finally got the shuttle up to our haven, I swear I saw a body floating down the street. Yikes. I'm glad I don't have to deal with that any longer. I feel bad for the poor sods we left behind. But there's only so quickly this program can work, isn't there? It's only going to get worse before it gets better. And it'll just keep getting worse unless people have somewhere to go. All the boards and social media are buzzing with this rumor, idea, I'm not sure which, but they all imagine there's a planet out there somewhere. One that's enough like Earth that we could live there. It has to be pretty exact. It needs the right gravity, the right air, lots of things. But it's a big galaxy. There's gotta be a planet like that out there somewhere, right? People online are calling it Eden. And I guess that's our mission. We can't keep living on these ships forever, can we? No, we need a planet. And I just think we learn from Earth how to keep I think we learn from Earth how to keep from messing up a new one. We were just behind the curve with Earth. Eden will be different. We just have to find it. So, that's what we're going to do. End log entry. Yep, I feel like if technology and ideological progress right now in the real world were just a few decades advanced, maybe we could stop climate change and actually save the biosphere. But hey, maybe we can actually still save some of this planet. Okay, hello, I have a viewer. How's it going? So, log 2. Straight on into morning. Chang thinks I'm crazy. Hold on. Okay, sorry. Log 2, straight on into morning. Chang thinks I'm crazy. He said, Floyd, you're asking us to look for one small straw-colored needle in a whole field of haystacks. I told him it was something to focus on at least. You've got to have a mission, right? You don't just drift through life. You set your sights on something and work for it. At least Chef and Brown were on my side. Blondie, well, his exact words were, we already fucked up one planet. What gives us the right to ruin a second one? I told him, I think we've learned from our mistakes. He didn't seem convinced, but in the end he accepted, and he was outvoted and went to go read in his bunk. Maybe Eden is a big wild goose chase, but it gives us a purpose at least. Chang and Brown nodded when I said that. Chef grumbled something about slowing down and picking over everything we can find at each stop before we move on, but personally I like the pace we're setting. Keeps us ahead of all the other ships following behind us from Earth. The odd hyperspace message that reaches us says a lot of ships' crews went rogue. You hear talk of them turning corrupt or violent, even crazy. Maybe they passed by a siren world. Heading out this way, in a direction not many are going, and just grabbing what we need before we move on, keeps us safe. If we build enough of a lead, maybe it'll be safe to stop and build a deep sky survey satellite. We can't just rely on stumbling across eating. Chang's right there. We'll have to look for it. Just a few more jumps first. End log entry. Entry 3, going boldly. I'll still think Chang's too, I don't know, cautious, I guess. I don't think he'd be happy unless we stuff the hold full of everything we can get our hands on. And even then, he'd probably fret. I told him, the longer we stay in one place, the more likely we are somebody will come along, and there's no guarantee they'll be friendly. The quicker we move, the safer we are. He said all the safety in the world won't help us if we run out of energy sticks. I asked him how many we have. 15, he said. That's plenty, so I'm not worried. He got his chance, though. We stopped and built that survey station, and we personally mined every rock the pods could reach. He's still complaining, but whatever. We'll be here for a while, as the telescope does its thing. We can probably sweep this whole system clean before it's done. I hope it doesn't take too long, though. I have to admit, part of the rush is I want to go down in history as the crew that found Eden. The history books won't remember the runners-up. I want to get there first. Blondie's still giving me grief, though. Keeps arguing about how humanity's track record and how we were a mass extinction event, and how we have no right to do that to a second planet. Brown said that we have no right to let millions of people die. It's getting to be a problem, and the worst part is I can't do a bloody thing to fix it, because I'm firmly on one team. There isn't a neutral third party on board, just 4 of us who think we should find Eden, and 1 who thinks we shouldn't. In the end, I told him to face the inevitable. Somebody's going to find the bloody thing first, I said, so it may as well be us. He's reading in his bunk again. Hopefully it calms him down. End log entry. Log 4, land ahoy! We got a good contact from the telescope. Right kind of mass, orbital radius, and atmosphere composition at least. Nice. It's a ways out. Right on the edge of the telescope's range, but we can make it. Coordinates attached. I told the guys to do a full systems check. Make sure everything's ship-shape for a long sequence of interstellar hops. 10 minutes later, Blondie got in a fight with Chang and knocked him out cold. So while Chef was bandaging Chang's boo-boo, I had to confine Blondie to his cabin. He's in there right now, sulking and reading that bloody book again. I asked Chang what it was about. He mumbled something about the inventory report. But he's high as a kite right now, and Chef says he's got a nasty concussion. He might not even remember. I guess I go better check on Blondie, see what he says. Wish me luck. Paused. Resumed. I guess this is dictated. Blondie gave me an earful, as expected. He just won't let go. Started ranting some crazy shit about the poison Eden and a great step backwards. I thought he was gonna have a go at me too. So yeah, he's still confined to quarters. At least until Chang recovers, and we can get his side of the story. I asked Brown about the inventory situation. He checked the bridge comp, says we're good on everything. We could be a little more comfortable in energy sticks, but there's no crystals left in this system, and the telescope says there's plenty of crystals around our destination. We're so close now, I can almost taste it! Eden! It's out there, and we're going to find it. Just 3 jumps, 3 days. This is going to be huge, I just know it. Let's see how it turns out. Log 5, a great adventure. Call me crazy. Captain's log, final entry. God, saying that hurt. To know we've come so far, and now. It's my own bloody fault. Even after everything, I still trusted Blondie. I never thought he'd. We found Eden. It's so beautiful. I almost always wondered what Earth used to look like before we made a pig's ear of it. Blue, green, and white. I hope we treat this one better. I hope we've learned our lessons. But I guess if you're listening to this, you don't need me to tell you what it looks like. Congratulations, you found Eden too. We're down there somewhere. Hopefully we're scratching out a life. Wait, they found it? Oh gosh. This is a long one. Okay. We were cheering and whooping and patting each other on the backs when the lights went out. When we checked the cargo, it was sabotage, plain and simple. Brown nearly threw Blondie out the airlock right then and there. The bastards spaced half our energy sticks while we were asleep, and falsified the cargo manifest. I guess Chang must have found out and confronted him. Damn it. I should have double-checked the storage. So that's it. We're officially bingo for power. Blackout. Dead in the water. This system is rich in everything we need, but we can't refine it without power. All those crystals so close we could touch them, but the lights are off, the machines won't work. And there's no derelicts out here to salvage. We're officially out of gas, and it's a long way to the nearest pump. Blondie wasn't even apologetic. He just still standing there like he just did us all a massive favor. Like he just saved the world, the smug git. Chef searched his cabin. Turns out Blondie's a member of the cult of New Haven, those crazy wankers who think God's waiting for us out there in space. And that we should never go back to living on planets because God threw us out of Eden. That's what they're all about, huh? Got it. That book he's reading this whole time? The Collected Sermons of Visionary Abel. He's been brainwashing himself right under our bloody noses. Well, joke's on him. We're going down there. It's not like we can stay up here with no power, is it? The air's already getting cold. Blondie says he wants to stay up here. That suits me just fine. There's only room for 4 of us on the shuttle anyway. I can do without seeing the treacherous bugger every day for as long as we're stuck down there. I don't care if he hypersleeps or freezes to death. I just don't want to see him ever again. So anyway, I guess this is an SOS. If you're reading this, we're hopefully still down there somewhere in need of rescue. We might be hard to find. It's not like we can build a colony now. Honestly, it'll be a bloody miracle if we don't all starve to death down there. Never mind building a radio beacon. But it's a better shot than freezing to death up there. I hope to see you, whoever you are, when you find us. Until then, this is Captain Floyd Pierce of HSS Call Me Crazy, signing off. End log. Well, so that's crazy. So they found Eden, but that guy sabotaged the ship, Blondie, because he's a crazy religious fanatic. But then, how did this log get to us? That's a mystery. I don't know. Okay. Let's move on to the next. IRS Mary Shelley, Entry 1. Okay. Log 1. A great and sudden change. Independent research ship Mary Shelley. First log entry. Captain Grant Park speaking. Or should I keep calling myself Professor? Perhaps not. This is a ship, not a university after all. Though there's no reason it can't be both, I suppose. I brought a couple of colleagues with me, Anderson and Fletcher. Plus a pair of doctorate students, Chase and Ray. Good people. Not just ivory tower academics, but genuine talent. And of course, Chase and Ray, sharing a cabin. Safe space for other things. Chase and Ray, are they gay for each other or something? The Mary Shelley is basic, to say the least. But she flies. She's well stocked and she has everything she needs to sustain us. We can expand her on the fly to suit any mission profile. All we really need now is a direction. I've given that a lot of thought as we prepared for this, and all this excitement over what everyone's so grandiosely calling the apocalypse. They all got so hung up on finding a new home or a new planet that they've forgotten what space exploration is really about, to seek out new worlds and, well, you know the rest. To boldly split infinitives that no man has split before. Chuckles. Who knows? Maybe the answer to our problems is an older, wiser species who faced the same troubles we did and overcame them. Or perhaps they were smart enough to see them coming in the first place. We can't fail to learn more about the cosmos if we go looking. And who knows, perhaps we'll stumble across what all the other ships are looking for along the way. Or maybe, just maybe, we'll actually make first contact. Either way, this should be interesting. Yeah, I already made first contact and second contact and third contact, and we've been killing a lot of aliens. Just, yeah. Turns out it's not so great. Okay, log 2. Fearless and therefore powerful. Leaving Earth behind us. Not as easy as I thought it would be. That's home, after all. The cradle of humanity. Blasted and ruined though it is. We threw a leaving party. Fletcher actually had a bottle of whiskey, which he was glad to share. Not good whiskey, but the first alcohol I've had in a long time. We stood there and said our goodbyes, or, well, tried to. I think we were still trying to decide on a toast when we clearly saw a flash somewhere along the west coast of North America, a nuke. Hard to imagine there's anything left in California that's worth nuking, but yeah, why would anyone nuke California? California's nuking itself already. By this time in the 22nd century, they probably had the big earthquake already. You know, California's overdue for a big earthquake, but okay, let's keep going. Anderson's toast was to those poor bloody souls down there, and that was it. We spooled up the hyperdrive and left. We hopped a few systems over, only to mine whatever we could find. Didn't bother the other ships. We've heard stories of some crews going rogue, turning to piracy or slavery. We're academics, not fighters. Best to keep a low profile. After a dozen jumps or so, we found a particularly promising system. Lots of resources, with not far to jump to get more. No other ships in sight. We took a vote and decided to build a small observatory station. Chase and Ray designed a telescope and then came up with a very appropriate name for it, the Big Exoplanet Anomaly Survey Telescope. The Big Exoplanet and Anomaly Survey Telescope, or BEAST. Very apt for a ship named after the author of Frankenstein. What none of us expected was how quickly it would find an anomaly. We barely had to turn it on before it told us where to find, well, something. Honestly, these readings don't make any sense at all. I certainly can't think of any natural phenomenon that would produce data like these. Which, of course, leads the mind to imagine an unnatural phenomenon. But no human ship would produce these kinds of readings either. Could it be? End log entry. Maybe it's the aliens we've been fighting, or maybe it's the siren world. Let's see. Log 3. Determined heart and resolved will. First contact. I can't believe it really happened. We found the first truly hard physical evidence of a non-human civilization. A spaceship. Sadly, it was derelict, and there was no sign of the crew. We formulated some theories about what they may have looked like, based on the furniture, and they definitely weren't humanoid. Anderson thinks they may have been quadrupedal. We've been trying to guess how old the wreck might be, but failing. How do you begin dating something from another planet? Impossible! There wasn't enough organic matter aboard the ship for radiometric dating. And even if there was, You wouldn't have the necessary baseline information for an alien world. It could be thousands of years old, for all we know. Tens of thousands. The people who built it might all be gone. Who knows? Maybe the apocalypse is something that happens to every species in time. There was one light in the darkness, though. Literally. A single, functioning, powered piece of technology. It's bigger than 2 men. We had to literally strap it to the shuttle and bring it back over to the Mary Shelley. But it's here now, sitting in the middle of our deck. We had no idea where to even begin. We're going to do our best, I guess. And our best is very, very good. Speaking of which, I won't learn anything if I sit here complaining into my log, will I? Up and at 'em, Park. There's science to do. End log entry. What if it's like a hypersleep chamber and they're going to awaken the aliens? What if that's where all the aliens came from that we're fighting right now? That would suck. Well, I guess we'll find out. Log 4. A secret which I desired to discover. Fascinating. Truly fascinating. The artifact appears to be a combination of an exotic hyperspace signal transmitter and some kind of incubation chamber. Or maybe a suspended animation pod that doesn't rely on cryostasis. Maybe both. And it has an occupant. The creature within exhibits truly remarkable adaptations that can't possibly be natural. I don't know if this thing even needs to breathe air. But of course, that raises so many questions. It looks designed, but who designs a life form that can survive and work in space? Uh-oh, sounds like the aliens. That's definitely what's going on here. The biodroid creature? Whatever it is, it has an organ in its brain that's sensitive to the hyperspace signals from the artifact. We tried pushing a few different buttons to see if we could get a response, but nothing's happened so far. That's hardly surprising. We're trying to operate a piece of technology that runs on completely different principles to everything invented by the human race. All their standards and protocols are different, right down to their voltages, circuit architecture, and everything. We're poking blind at this thing. But I think Chase and Ray are making some inroads on translation. I don't care if they aren't making it progress rapidly. Watching the way those two smile as they work together always lifts my spirits. Maybe Chase is a girl. Maybe they're... who knows. If they succeed, though, I bet this creature would be just as compliant as any robot. But why not just build a robot? Sadly, that question will have to wait. Fletcher says this system is running low on available water. We'll have to move on to somewhere where we can stay a little longer and build a containment pen on the ship, where we can study the organism properly. We have a good lead on a relatively wealthy system along the derelict alien ship's trajectory. Maybe we'll find something out that way. I've attached the navigation data to this log entry. Can't have too many backups after all. End log entry. Let's find out what happens. Log 5, thy pride of wisdom. Uh-oh. Independent research ship, Mary Shelley, final log entry. Professor Grant Park speaking. Chase and Ray died fighting side by side. I can still hear their screams when I close my eyes. The containment pen we built was, not adequate to the task. At first it was fine, but well... We eventually found a signal that caused the organism to hatch. It didn't attack at first, so we assumed it was docile. It didn't need much food either, or, as I predicted, air, or water. So we kept experimenting, kept trying different signals. We made more progress on translating the artifact's control software in just 1 hour. More progress on translating the artifact's control software in just 1 hour than we'd made in the preceding 2 weeks. But then, in response to one signal, it changed, morphed into some kind of chrysalis and stopped responding to commands. Then the chrysalis burst, and there were dozens and dozens of babies in there, and they didn't respond to the control signal either, and they were hungry. and they were small enough to slip out through the vents. Ooh, that's creepy. Literal alien shit. I think only the adults listened to the control signal, but it's too late to test that hypothesis now. I can't get to the artifact anyway. Anderson's corpse is blocking the door. The corpse is blocking the door? Oh, they glued him to it with some kind of resin that sets like concrete, and they laid eggs inside him. I wish I could have. Nobody should die like that. I guess that's what happens to the people they kidnap and tie to the wall. As for Fletcher, I think they did the same to him, but he escaped. He took the shuttle and abandoned us. Oh no, he's gonna spread the aliens to other ships. No, dude, dumbass. God only knows how far he thinks he'll get without a hyperdrive, but I guess he's gone. And if I'm right, those eggs will hatch somewhere out there. If somebody picks him up, well, who knows how far they could spread. As for me, there's no way out. I can't just vent the ship, they'd barely notice. I don't have enough food or water in here to wait them out. I do have a pistol, though. If anybody finds this message, I'm sorry. We should have been more careful. We meant to expand the sum of human knowledge, but instead I fear we've expanded the sum of human misery. Maybe if you find out where they came from, you can do something about them. I've uploaded everything we found out, all our data. It's all on this tablet. I'm convinced these things were engineered, and they definitely respond to signals from the artifact. All you need to do is control them. If I just had the artifact in here with me, I could. They're cutting at the door. They can hear me in here. I'm going to take the easy way out before they get to me. Please, use the artifact. Send the control signal and stop them, and please, forgive me. My spirit will sleep in peace, or if it thinks, it will not surely think thus. Farewell. End log. My spirit will sleep in peace, or if it thinks, it will not surely think thus. Farewell. I guess that means in death, even if you do think, even if there is an afterlife, and there is life after death, at least you won't be suffering the same way you were when you were alive. Damn, this is a sad story. Yep, you can't fuck around with aliens or ancient alien artifacts, dude. Come on. You gotta be more careful than that. You only had a pistol? You should have teamed up with some military dudes. Maybe they could handle the situation. But the military dudes probably wouldn't even let you. Well, maybe they would, but... Yep, you gotta be careful with aliens. They'll fuck you up. Sounds like, maybe these aliens were like... I assume by the big one, they mean the hauler. And the small ones were crawlers, so... Maybe we can control the haulers, but not the crawlers. If we find the artifact. There probably is no artifact, at least not yet. Maybe in a much later update. You can find them in the alien-controlled system. But it sounds like the aliens were engineered as like a bioweapon. As like a disease that spreads and it can spread across ships, and it can fight the enemy for you. Designed by an alien race to fight another alien race or other members of its race. Kinda creepy. Oh, locked. Damn. Well, I guess I'll find them sometime. Let's look at these data sheets. So, I got the crawlers and the haulers. Let's read them. This quadrupedal life form is well adapted to life in space and can survive indefinitely in hard, vacuum, and pressurized environments alike. Although it moves slowly, if it can get close enough, it attacks by biting, potentially causing a bleeding wound. Crawlers aim to incapacitate their prey so that their counterpart haulers can gather and cocoon their victims. Look at them, this freaky looking thing. Are these like extra, are these like arms, kind of, if you look closely? And the haulers, these creepy looking fuckers. Do you think the crawlers evolve into haulers? Look, maybe these front appendages kind of turn into these slashers. Damn, creepy looking fucker. Just one big eye, and the eye looks similar too. Maybe the eye grows. Okay, this crawler has 30 health, and its attack is crawler bite, which does 1 to 6 damage. And then haulers have 120 health, and hauler slashes do 6 to 24 damage. Capable of dashing forward, capable of hovering, capable of turning prey into a cocoon. This larger life form stores gas inside its body, allowing it to float just as well in pressurized environments as it does in the vacuum of space. It propels itself with squirts of compressed air, achieving bursts of surprising speed that let it close with its prey faster than they expect. Once near it, its tentacles incapacitate and cocoon prey, which are then hauled back to the alien's lair. A hauler's victim's grisly fate is to be plastered helplessly to a wall near the creature's eggs, and be used to incubate new alien life. Yeah, that's creepy. Creepy as fuck. Sounds like a self-reproducing bioweapon. Or possibly that. What are these statistics? Oh, ships, average number of ships, average number of robots, crafts, refugees. Okay, I'm tired of talking. Let's play this game. Insufficient resources? Jeez, okay. Unexplored. Just going to bed, okay. Beddy by time.